Have the British Broadcasting Corporation blown it with our very own and much loved British royal family? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. As ever, wonderful to have your company. Yes, I'm enjoying a cup of tea too. Well, actually, it's in a flask outside. It's really cold out here today, but you look nice and warm anyway. But back as ever to your royal story of the day. On a more serious note, as we know, this particular story has really taken off. That's all thanks to the ill-advised documentary that the BBC decided to make over 2 parts, sort of detailing the prince's battles with, of course, the media. It's interesting also to note, that the BBC don't really keep themselves in this battle, even though that we know the BBC have been part of the problem. Let's not forget, of course, the Martin Bashir debacle. No mention of that really, was there? But now it does appear that the BBC are having second thoughts, and here's the reasons why. As we know, the BBC had hoped that this particular documentary, which they refused to give copies to the British royal family to see in advance, would simply fade away. After all, it's full of the usual tawdry people talking over the same old things, hence the reason I turned down the opportunity to appear. What's interesting though is this. Now the BBC have had second thoughts, because what's coming up next year is something far bigger and far juicier, and of course will be excellent for their ratings. We're talking, of course, about the wonderful Platinum Jubilee celebrations and our gracious monarch, Queen Elizabeth, celebrating all of those years on the throne. Now, naturally, it would be a foregone conclusion that this would be handed to the BBC to film, organise and of course broadcast internationally throughout the world. But now that's been thrown into some confusion. That's because, as we know, senior members of the British royal family are rather upset with the corporation, and rightly so. But now, and we're telling you this first here on the show, the BBC are simply offering the second instalment of that programme for senior royals to now view to see if there's anything that they're unhappy with. But is it all a little bit too late? According to a very good palace source, they tell me that, well, the fact that they didn't really work with them from the beginning does make it rather difficult moving forward to look at the possibilities of what will be coming for next year's Platinum celebrations. Now, in fairness to the BBC, they of course have done incredible work in hyping up this particular documentary. But just how well did it do in the ratings for them? Well, when you consider that it was, plugged around the world in newspapers, online and on social media, the rating for that particular episode was very meagre indeed, just over 1 million. But according to the BBC, they don't really care about that because lots of people watch it on catch-up. That's where the audience is now. By catch-up, of course, I mean digital platforms. So for them, they consider this to be a very successful programme. It's also very cheap because they already pay over £350,000 a year per A to, of course, the presenter. So he comes as part of the package, hopefully. And then, of course, you've just got the contributors, which are normally paid around 250 to 370, depending on the pedigree. I'm giving you some real secrets here. But now, of course, the BBC have this bigger dilemma. Will the Director General, Tim Davie, have to go to the palace, possibly cap in hand, and offer a grovelling apology in order to secure filming the Jubilee next year? As ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the heart of London.